Hello guys, so welcome back to the series. We've talked about what's in the menu bar. We've talked about this toolbar here, menu bar, tool, whatever. Today I want to talk about layers, how they really kind of defines Photoshop. And they're like the thing that kind of blocks people in the mind, in the brain, like I I remember before I learned Photoshop or went to design school, I was so scared to come close to Photoshop. I mean, looking at the layers, it was just mind boggling for me. And today we're gonna look at layers and try to simplify them and why you shouldn't be scared of them because they actually are the beauty of Photoshop. And today we're gonna be looking at layers. And in doing so, we'll also be touching on some of our tools, going to the menu bar, toolbar, and all. So, alright, so this is not going to be a long tutorial because I just want to introduce you to layers. Now look at this ellipse here that I've drawn in our last video. Now see how I have this ellipse one, and see how I also have this rectangle in this background. These are layers, and we can count them 1, 2, and 3. So right now our artwork has 3 layers in it, and you can tell you on a particular layer. This property window really helps. See, you have this color changing that tells you that we're talking about ellipse here. And another thing is this: if you have auto select, look at here. If I don't check this auto select, now I can just come here with my move tool to try and touch any object on the canvas. You see that? Photoshop is saying no way you can select that, you can touch that, you can do that. If I wanted to be able to grab this ellipse, I have to come into ellipse, and then now I can grab the ellipse. But I can't just grab the rectangle. You see? Now this is the funny thing about Photoshop, some of the mind-boggling things about Photoshop, and which is beautiful too. Look how, because I have this auto select unchecked, and I have this ellipse one layer selected, I don't even have to touch this area of the ellipse. I can just touch it anywhere, and then I'm still grabbing the ellipse. That was mind boggling for me when I started using Photoshop. I was like, what the hell is going on now? What is this? And if I wanted to select this rectangle, I need to come to select rectangle here, the second layer or the middle layer, whatever, and then I can now touch it, and see how I don't even have to touch it. Look at that. That was mind-boggling for me. Like, what the hell is going on? Until I found this auto select, and then I can just check that, and then I can grab any object on my canvas. Like, no, that's much better. So there. So in case in the last tutorial you saw me grabbing things on my canvas directly, and you tried that and it failed. This is why it failed. You didn't have the auto select here checked. So please look for that wherever it is on your Photoshop and just check that. So there. Now we have layers here. So I'm going to remove these two. I'm going to delete this layer, these 2 layers. I'm going to delete them, and there's several ways you can do that. I could select a layer and press delete on my keyboard. That deletes it, and I'm going to undo that by holding down Control and pressing Z. I can also grab it and just drag it all the way down into this wastebasket icon, there. That deletes it. I'm going to undo that also. Finally, I could just press backspace, which is like the thing most Photoshop users do. They just backspace. It's like really cool thing. There's this cool thing about Photoshop where you use a lot of backspace when you begin to get into shortcuts. I'll tell you where Alt backspace, Control backspace. So I'm gonna undo that, and I'm gonna delete this into the two layers all at once. So I'm gonna do it by grabbing. By the way, to select these two layers, I need to do something. I need to hold shift on my keyboard, hold it. Now click on each of the layers, and then you see the two layers are highlighted, and what that means is that I've selected both, which means I can actually move both together now. See that? Now, another way is I can hold my shift and actually select it here, right on the canvas. See what happens in the layer panel? Both are highlighted, which means I've actually successfully selected both. Now I want to delete these two layers so I can really explain the concept of creating new layers, and now new layers can be created on the fly without you having to do anything. So I'm just going to grab these two and throw them in the waste bin, just like in the trash can. I do this thing at home. I try to stay far away from the trash can, and I do it in the office too. And I kind of roll papers and dump. I think some of us do that sometimes just to while away time in the office or to break concentration and all that. Anyways, let's draw something. I did promise that I was going to show us the rest of the vector too. So right now I'm just going to show you polygon, and just to correct so that I'm not met with surprises, I'm going to come up here to this property bar. By the way, I'm not saying property, I'm not referring to this property window here. I'm talking about property bar up here so that you don't mix that up. I'm going to go into this field. You don't want to have this cancel, at least as long as you're trying to add a field. You want your rectangle to come out with a color. You don't want to have this cancel in the field. You want to have an actual color. So I'm just going to select one of the colors we used before, or I click on these and select a new color entirely. Like I like orange or yellow, something. So yeah, let's select that, and then I'm going to drag. Whoa, look at that. That's a mess. Anyway, remember what I said about holding shift for all your vector tools. If you hold your shift, you're gonna get perfect tools. I don't know what's wrong with this. Anyways, I'm just gonna do that. See, no more surprises. Our colors just fill in. Now, that's that. But actually, I'm just gonna delete this layer because that's not where I want to start from. So just press backspace. I'm sorry, in case you're following me, press backspace and delete that. It's going to delete because it's like the only layer and it's selected, so it's going to delete. Well, there are a few ways to create a new layer, and one is to come down here and come to this symbol here that looks like a note. You see, look at that tooltip. It says create a new layer. So I just click it. I got a new layer here. Let's do that again. I click this down here again. I want you to see how my mouse works from wherever it is. I'm coming down to this little place. I click that, it gives me a new layer, and then I can do something to that new layer. I can fill that new layer with an interior color. So yeah, we might as well begin to get into some fun things. So if I hold, these days is working as Control backspace. I don't know why, but normally before, if you hold Alt backspace, you're supposed to be able to fill with your front layer. But for some reason, my Photoshop, I don't know if that's a development in Photoshop CC 2018 or it's just my Photoshop messing up. Normally I'm supposed to hold Alt backspace and fill this layer with this foreground color, but for some reason that's not working anymore. So I'm just gonna go to this background color and give it select a color there because that still works. And I'm gonna hold Control and press backspace, and then see, you filled it with a color. By the way, that's not the only way to fill it with color, but I just wanted to show you. I wanted to show you that it's pretty cool. I think I'm still gonna try and really figure out what's going on with my Alt backspace. Why is it not working? Or is it that it's just been removed from Photoshop completely or something? I don't know. Okay, so there I've created a layer by clicking here, and I filled it with a background color. I filled it with my background color by pressing Control backspace. Now I want to create another layer, and another way to create a layer, and when you don't want to come down here, is to use the shortcut Control. Hold your Control, hold Shift on your keyboard. So now it is. I'm going to walk through like that again. I'm gonna walk through that again. Hold Control on your keyboard, hold Shift, and then press N, the letter N, as in M-N-O, the middle one, N. Okay, good. And you give that layer a name. Say, okay, so let's call this layer, let's call it Circle 1 or something like that. Oh wow, what did I do? Okay, there, Circle 1. One beautiful thing, you can actually give a layer a color, kind of like just to identify it quickly, or to group layers together in a way that you can quickly identify them depending on what you're doing. But I'm just going to select this red and see what happens with my layer there. See how I get this reddish thing, where this reddish identifier sort of. So now I created that Circle 1, and I could put anything, like anything in the layer, but what I'm still going to do right now is to just, I'm going to put a gradient on the layer. So here is our gradient tool. You can get to it by just pressing G, or just come here to gradient tool, see where my mouse is, or just pressing G. You can see it has this arrow. It means you can fly out by holding down your left click for like a second, and then you have all of these other things flying out. But right now I just want to apply gradient there. Now I'm going to come to my property bar here, and I'm going to click in this section. I'm not dropping down like this. I could if I wanted. I don't want to do that. I'm going to click in this middle section, and I get this gradient editor window. For now, I'm just going to select a gradient for my wonderful panel, or wonderful list of gradients. You won't have this, by the way. When you open your gradient editor, you're not going to have so many as I have. That's because I have added more, some from online resources. I downloaded some and I created some and saved it. All of this you're gonna get. I'm gonna show you later how to do that, how to create your own gradients and just store them for later use. So for now, I'm just looking for something nice. Okay, I'm just gonna select this thing that looks like a golden sun, something like that. Now I'm going to just drag, I'm going to click outside. I could click from anywhere here too. I could click here and just drag up this way. I could drag in any direction and let go. See that? I put a gradient on that layer. Now see, the beauty of Photoshop is this. If you fill up an entire layer with an object, the layer below it gets, how do I put it? It gets maxed out, like covered, like shielded completely. That's it. Anyway, I like this. I'm gonna leave it, and let me just show you a cool trick quickly. I could come here, see where my arrow is here. These are called transparency modes, and I'm gonna come to this specifically in a video of its own, but right now I just want to show something cool we can do. While making sure that this layer is selected, we can go to transparency mode and select overlay. That does nothing actually, and that's because the layer below it has no contour. I'm gonna use the word contour, like it's just flat, and because of that I have nothing. My transparency mode is doing nothing, but right now you can see it's much better. For example, using add light now is better. If I go to normal, you see what we have. If I go add light, see what we have there. If I go to soft light, that's gone again. It's nothing. But add light, you can see it just kind of make this whole thing brighter. So basically what blending mode does is it blends two layers, kind of mix them up and makes, yeah, I don't know, yeah, that kind of blends mode. But this discussion is not about blending modes too. It's a little bit about blending modes because it's the part of the layers panel. Maybe I should just talk about blending modes now. So okay, so I've shown how to create a layer by clicking this. I've shown the Ctrl+Shift+N thing of doing it. Now I'm going to show you a way a layer will be created without you doing it. There's some tools that just create their own layer by themselves. All vector tools create their own layer. And vector tools are found here, so you just click and hold that for like a second, and all of these are vector tools. You draw anything here and it creates its own layer, just like that. I've selected the rounded rectangle, and if I draw now, see, it creates its own layer. That's just it. And here's what I mean. See, it creates its own layer and calls it rounded rectangle. By the way, you can rename layers from here. All you have to do is make sure you are on this name section, double click it, not too much. If you double click it too hardly or something, you pop out you pop up the FX window. You don't want to pop up the FX window. You just want to you just want to double click that lightly, and then you can change that. I could call that this lemon round rect, just like so. Yeah, there. So you can actually name your layers so you can easily or better identify them. So I'm just gonna remove that. Oh no, I'm gonna leave it there. It's an example I'm showing you. Okay, another way that layers will get created without you having to do anything. You can see now we didn't do anything in the last one. It just got created because we're using a vector tool. Another way a layer gets created without you having to do anything is when you import a file, say a picture. Basically, most time you get to import pictures. So I'm just gonna go here to say placed link, and I'm gonna use link so that I can show you what I was saying before. I don't have any picture here in my folder here, but I'm gonna grab a picture from somewhere and I'm just gonna put it there, and then I'm gonna link from there so I can show you something much later. Okay, so I'm gonna come here to Moroscape, that's the name of my company. And I'm gonna come to asset pictures, okay, so let's just grab this cutie. Yeah, let's grab this line or something. So I'm gonna copy that, Ctrl C, and I'm gonna go back to documents, tutorial series. You do it the way you want to do it. I'm gonna say Ctrl V. Now I'm gonna place that same picture now. If I didn't select it before, it won't place. I'm to select it now, and then I'm gonna place it. Wait for that. See, and yeah, it's not done, by the way. When you bring in a picture like that, you want to make sure that, okay, I did something just now. I'm gonna show you how I did it later, not in this video. You want to click this icon here that says finish placing. So you want to click that. There are two ways to do that. You can just click this to say finish placing, or you can press enter on your keyboard. So if you're familiar with Photoshop very well, you probably use enter a lot, but for now, just for instructional purposes, I'm gonna click this. There, we fully imported a picture into a Photoshop file. How good is that? And let's play with blend modes again now. If I do this, you probably saw something like this before, and you see like, how did they do that? That's so cool. Like, yeah. Anyways, I just totally lost the head of this lion or lioness, whatever. But you get the idea now how things just blend. We're going to talk about blending modes a lot later. So yeah, I've showed you 4 ways to create a new layer, 2 ways to create a new layer, and 2 other ways by which a new layer is created without you doing anything about it. So you click here, click down here, you create new layers, Ctrl Shift N, new layers. You grab a vector tool, it draws its own layer for you, and you import a picture, it draws its own layer for you. Another vector tool is the pen tool, which we will talk about in a later video, not today. I say not this video. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this video, because I've enjoyed myself in this video. And let me say, are we doing, whoa, this video is really long. I thought I didn't want long videos. Wow, I didn't want. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you love this. You can request something and I will try to answer your request in another series or just as a one-off video tutorial. And I welcome constructive criticism. Once again, my name is Alexander. I'm signing out now. See you next time. Bye.